Shoes.
Shoes. And as you look down at these shoes, I want you to describe them to me. What colour are they? Tanned.
Tan shoes.
And
newish.
leather, and then new.
Very pointed.
Pointed. And now what I want you to do is I want you to connect with your body. So take a little while just to adjust and acclimatise to that body of that life. And you'll just have a sense and tell me, do you feel that you're male or female?
Female.
You're female. And knowing that you can see yourself from different angles, I want you to look at yourself from all sides and describe to me, what is it that you're wearing? You've got your tanned leather shoes.
Black trousers.
Black trousers.
Very wide legs.
Wide black trousers.
Belt.
A belt. What colour is your hair?
Bleached blonde.
Bleached blonde. And as you look at yourself there, what name were you in that life? Just hear that name coming forward now. Just listen out for your name. What did they call you in that life? Pamela. Well, hello Pamela. Thank you for coming forward and working with us today. Pamela, I want you to look down at your feet and tell me what you're stood on. Are you inside or are you outside?
Outside.
You're outside. And what kind of day is it, Pamela?
Sunshine.
It's sunshine. And as you look around, I want you to have that all-knowing feeling. If you knew, describe to me. Where are you?
I can still see the woods.
The woods? Very good. So you're outside in the sunshine by the woods. And I want you to use your senses now, Pamela, and connect and tell me, do you sense that you're on your own or do you sense that you're with others?
A lot of people.
A lot of people?
It's a party.
It's a party. Well, I want you to connect with the theme of that party. And what kind of party is it?
No reason.
No reason? So it's not a seasonal party? No. It's a party. Very good. And as you're walking around now, just feel yourself stepping forward, walking on that ground. I want you to tell me, what land are you in? What country is it there? The first country that comes to mind.
England.
England, And in a moment I'm going to tap you on the forehead, and when I tap you on the forehead, you're going to see some numbers in your mind, and that will be the year that you lived in England. So when you're ready, 3, 2 and 1. What year is it there, Pamela?
1915.
1915. So as you look around this party that you're in with all those souls, Look around and tell me, do you notice anybody that you know there?
Focusing on a man.
A man? Uh-huh. Just feel yourself drifting, floating towards that man. And you'll be able to connect with his energy. How do you feel towards this man? Is it good or bad or indifferent?
Friendly.
Friendly. Uh-huh. And what's his name? What do they call him? Andrew. Mm-hmm. What colour hair has he got there, Pamela?
Very dark.
He's got dark hair.
Almost black.
Mm-hmm. And his eyes, what colour are his eyes?
Dark brown.
Brown. Well, I want you to look deep into the eyes now, because the eyes are the windows to the soul. And as you look deep into the soul through the eyes, you'll be able to connect with his spirit and tell me if he reminds you of anybody today. So look deep into his eyes and there'll just be a flash of a memory. Who does he remind you of?
Reminds me of Andrew.
Andrew. Very good. Mm-hmm. So you're in England in 1915. Pamela, I'm going to tap you on the forehead and you'll see some more numbers and you'll be able to tell me how old you are. 3, 2, 1. How old are you there, Pamela?
23.
You're 23. Mm-hmm. So Pamela, what do you do in that life? Do you stay at home? Do you work? Do you travel? What is it that you do?
I'm a socialite.
You're a socialite?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Very good.
I party.
You just party, you're a socialite? Uh-huh. And if you could see the map of England, are you at the north, the south, the east or the west?
Down south.
You're down south. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. And do you know the area down south?
Home counties.
Home counties. Mm-hmm. And tell me, Pamela, do you have any family in that life? Just feel the energy there.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Describe your family to me.
Father's in.
A father?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Money.
He's got money. Uh-huh.
Manufacturing.
In manufacturing. Uh-huh. What kind of things does he manufacture there, Pamela?
Metal things.
Metal. Mm-hmm. And do you have a mother?
Yes. Oh,
And what does she do?
housewife.
She's a housewife. Uh-huh. And do you have any brothers or sisters? Or a lover?
Can't feel any sibling.
No siblings? Mm-hmm.
I'm not a virgin.
You're not a virgin. Uh-huh. Do you have a partner in that life?
I can't see one.
You can't see one. Uh-huh. So let's go back to your father then. I want you to describe your father to me as you stand in front of him now. Feel his energy and tell me, how do you feel towards your father? Is it a good match? It's a good match?
Whiskers. Cigars.
Whiskers and cigars. Uh-huh.
Overweight.
Overweight. Uh-huh. But how do you feel towards him? Do you feel love? Do you feel anxious? What's the feeling that you get from him? Is it a good match?
Yes.
It's a good match. And I want you now to look into your father's eyes. And I want you to spiritually connect with his soul. And as you look deep into your father's eyes, you might just have an image in front of you of someone you're working with today. Does he remind you of anybody?
No.
No. Mm-hmm. And now take a look at your mother. As you connect with your mother and you stand in front of her now, I want you to hold her hands so that you can feel her vibration. And tell me about your mother. How do you feel towards your mother?
I love my mother.
You love her? And as you look into her eyes now, Pamela, deep into those eyes, right down into that soul, just so that you can telepathically communicate mind to mind and soul to soul. Tell me, does she remind you of anybody today? Jane. Very good. So now I've got that information. Pamela, we're going to step forward in that life. And I want to go forward in that life to another particular time of events when something is happening to you. So just close that scene as if you were switching the remote control to a different channel and go drifting and floating forward through time and space to another event in that life when something is happening to you. I'm going to count from 3 to 1, and when I get to 1, you'll be there. So when you're ready, 3, drifting, floating, 2 and 1. Be there now. How old are you now, Pamela?
54.
You're 54. Mm-hmm. And tell me, are you in the same place as before in the home counties? Mm-hmm. Well, look around and tell me, are you inside or outside?
Inside.
You're inside. So as you look at the landscape around you, inside, describe it to me. Where are you?
House.
A house?
Dark.
And it's dark
Shabby.
and shabby. And connect with your emotions, Pamela. How are you feeling in this dark, shabby house?
Grief.
Grief? I want you to connect with that grief now, Pamela. And you can feel the energy of that grief. And tell me, what is it that grieves you, Pamela?
I'm on my own.
You're on your own. So what happened when you say you're on your own? Who's gone?
Husband.
Your husband. What was your husband's name?
Martin.
Martin. And was this relationship a good match to you?
Unfortunate.
It was an unfortunate match. Explain to me why it was unfortunate. What happened?
Very little money.
You had very little money or he had very little money?
We have very little money.
So what happened to your father's fortunes then, Pamela? The fortune is gone. So tell me, did you marry him for money? No? What did you marry him for?
Love.
You married him for love. And was that love returned?
Not quite.
So tell me, Pamela, did you have any children in that life? No children. So what did Martin die of then? How did he pass? He passed with his lungs.
Blood.
And blood. Tuberculosis. So he got tuberculosis. And this house that you're living in, that you lived in with Martin, is that still in the home counties, or did you move to a different area?
North.
You moved north? So how did you meet Martin then? Be there on that first day. How did you meet him?
Don't want to.
You don't want to? What is it you don't want to do, Pamela?
Don't want to know.
You don't want to know?
Don't want to know how I met him.
You don't want to know how you met him? Was it through one of your parties, or was it through a family connection?
Not a party.
It wasn't a party?
Different class.
It was a different class? When you say a different class, where is he higher than you or lower than you?
He was working class.
He was working class? How did your parents feel about that?
Disappointed.
But you followed your heart?
Yes.
Very good. So now I want to get back to Martin there. And I know that you're grieving for his loss. But I want you to imagine that he's in front of you now, that you can telepathically communicate with him. And as you communicate with his soul, does he remind you of anybody today? It'll just be your first impression. Andrew, very good. Now we've got all that information, what I'd like us to do is, I'd like us, Pamela, to move to the last day of your life.